My name is Renata Furlaneto. I'm the architecture director of Student K27, a Brazilian-based office in São Paulo. And before I start the presentation, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a context of what is this project about. We won a competition, a public competition for the Osaka Pavilion Expo to 2025. 50 years after Paulo Mendes da Rocha won the same prize for the Expo Pavilion in Osaka, the Brazil Pavilion in Osaka, 1970. So when he won this pavilion competition, we were under a military dictatorship. And 20 years after, we won the same competition under a far-right government. That meant a huge step back towards the social and environmental agenda, especially regarding the Amazon protection. So our decision of joining the competition was not just a design, it was not just for the design exercise, especially because the competition was not just about design, it's also about curatorship. We need to put together a pavilion that had both the design and the exhibition curatorship. And what I'm presenting before the project is the theme, okay?
In a typical sunny day in the Amazon, one big tree manages to transfer 1,000 liters of water through its transpiration per day. There are 400 billion trees in the Amazon forest. That means 20 trillion liters of water into the atmosphere every day. Flying rivers are bigger than the Amazon River. The humidity follows the path over 6,000 kilometers, skirting the Andes towards the south of the continent. The flying rivers make regions that would otherwise be arid into green and humid. The water that comes from the flying rivers feeds 1 billion people every day and keep alive more than 100,000 species besides ours. The longest river in the world is in the sky.
Water. Pani.
So we started the design from that cloud image, the picture that you saw at the end of the video, which is a real picture from Sebastião Salgado. And what we wanted to bring to the visitor was this kind of nature experience and power. So we wanted to bring the cloud and the rain to the pavilion. That what led us to the decision to move the exhibition, the main exhibition, to the second floor and make the cloud be connected to the front of the building, and therefore not just with the visitors that were inside of the pavilion, but also from outside. The structural and the design, we wanted, because it is a temporary building, it needs to be dismounted and then recycled. So we wanted the building to be as simple as possible. We decided not to enclose the main exhibition space and just have a light roof supported by a grid of metallic columns. And all the enclosed spaces were placed above ground. For the facade, we didn't want the building to be fully enclosed and have this sort of solid facade. We wanted the building to, this boundary between inside and outside to be sort of dissolved, because we wanted the air to go inside and the cloud to be dissipated by the natural winds. But at the same time, so we picked a metallic mesh like this more transparent element that is displayed like a curtain that is actually undercovering what is the stage that is behind it. And also the opening and the entrance is this opening to invite the visitor to go inside. So once you are inside, all the public program is on the left, and you have this ramp system that goes directly to the second floor and leads the visitor to the main exhibition, and also collects from them for the exit. So the entrance on the lower scheme is the ground floor. We pass through an event space, restaurant, store, event like a small gathering, air-conditioned space, but you are led up to the rear of the building and then go up through these ramp systems that cross the first floor where the operational rooms are placed, not open to public, and to the main exhibition level where you enter from the rear under this water mirror, reflecting mirror, and gaining the height and then seeing the cloud. The ramp is when the exhibition starts, so we wanted to use this space to accommodate the queue, to start teaching the visitor about what he's going to see, and sort of bringing this more like immersive sensation to actually picture exactly what Amazon is. And this is an image of a prototype that we have developed in São Paulo. For the cloud, we came across Laura Vinci's work. She's an artist, a Brazilian artist, and she has already these glass tubes that pump a signographic cloud, because we wanted not to mimic nature, but we wanted the gesture of the cloud to be a human gesture, because it's a representation. The rain is just a sprinkler system. We wanted to have different sort of intensities to make this experience alive. And from the sustainability point of view, the main decision was not to air condition the main exhibition space, so we wanted to lower our power consumption. As much as we could, we cladded the roof with some photovoltaic panels, but it's just a portion of the energy. What we wanted also was to pick our recycled elements, everything, because the pavilion would be dismounted at the end. And now I invite you to do the pavilion. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I have one or two questions. Can you talk a little bit about the material of the curtains? What is it made of?
It's a metallic mesh, and it's displayed like a curtain. So it has like a track on the top.
And the upper floor is outside space. The upper floor, the very top floor,
Yes, yes.
is open.
It's
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
It's open.
It's incredibly beautiful. I really hope it's. Is the plan is it will go ahead? It will get built.
Yes.
And it has funding. We
Actually,
hope.
that is the problem, but we have been hired, so we
Yeah.
are
We have to believe.
developing the construction documentation.
And the theme came from yourselves as well. You're saying that's part of the competition was
Yes,
the curation
it's a
of the theme.
partnership. To be honest, I forgot to mention. It's a partnership between us as architects and an art curator that it's called Marcelo Dantas.
Okay. So from the kind of ethereal to the practical, I was curious about the water. Are you effectively recycling it? So when it
Exactly.
falls, is it collected in the pool and sent back round?
Yes, there is a pumping system. So once the sprinkler, the water comes, it's collected by the water mirror that goes to a tank and then pumped again to the sprinkling system.
And you said that the cloud itself is a representation of a cloud. It's not actually water vapor. What, is it smoke or?
No, it's a scenographic cloud made by a liquid. So
Okay.
it's not water because we tested with water, and the water goes down, so it creates more like a fog instead of a cloud.
Oh, you need it to be lighter.
And we
Okay.
wanted it needed to be light to go up, and the tubes they allowed us to direct the cloud to many directions, so it becomes like a more 3D element than just something in one direction. So it was really something that had a lot to her. It's her work, and it was kind of a gift.
It's a great collaboration. I want to
Yeah.
go and see it. It looks amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you comment on the relationship between the pavilion itself, the shape, the profile, the column structure, the color, the materials, and the exhibit within?
The actual shape of the roof, it happens because we had a restraint in the construction because we were not allowed to have a full 70 meters all along the plot. We had a height limitation, and we could go up to 17 just in 50% of the plot. So it was a restraint, but at the end the gesture came with this sort of idea of bringing, the visitor from a lower perspective to a higher perspective. So everything sorts of it was a series of decisions that actually led to this shape, and the cloud made us do that. The idea of having the cloud made the shape. The materiality, if you notice, is all about like a more, let's say, natural palette, despite of the metallic nature of the mesh, but even the copper color, everything was led us to a more, let's say, earthy or natural palette, but also taking consideration that we are architects, that we are building, and we are kind of using the technology to build it. So it's a...
Tracy used the word ethereal at one point, and the relationship between the thin profile, the curve, and the very delicate columns is beautiful. Is it engineered yet? Is it realistic?
It's an Arab design.
Yeah.
We had to on the foundation in order not to have any bracing on the facade. We had to connect because the columns they just support the roof weight. They don't support the actual building which is below it.
Right.
So we had to make it connected on the foundation because everything needs to work together.
Right. Thank you.
Exactly, and there is an earthquake condition in Japan, so it was really important. Okay.
I find it quite compelling as a space and as a volume, and actually it sort of questions the boundaries and architecture and what it does. And what I find interesting is using other systems, for instance, to create the cloud system. How is that integrated into the structure of the pavilion? How do you create? Is it, are those pipes directly on top, or are they engineered from the bottom?
They are, everything comes, there is a service road behind the building. And if you notice, there is a vertical circulation, a volume on the back, and everything comes from that point. So we are using, actually at the end, we had to connect the roof with that volume in order to move the infrastructure from that volume through the roof. So all the tanks and pumps, everything was going to be placed in the rear volume, coming from the service lines. And because we didn't actually had the opportunity, we cannot dig too much because it's a reclamation soil. So we had to keep it like light and have just one point of, connection with the ground. What actually was good, because as we don't have anything connecting the exhibition space, the roof, with the lower element, it was really, really complicated to connect them both. The only thing that are connected is the drainage for the roof, because we are running them outside the pipes in one of the facades.
I just have a small question. So when you go up through the ramps, go up to that space, and do you go down through the same ramps?
No, there are two ramps. They do like this. So we have a two-way ramp going up. That's why we had to lead the visitor towards the back to allow him to enter from the back. So he crosses the exhibition space, and then there is another ramp that goes two ways again to the ground floor, closer to the exits, driving people directly out of the pavilion, which was also a constraint because we had to have all the queue inside of our pavilion. So the ramp was sort of a two-win ways. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Muito obrigado.